Yo guys, what's happening? Manchester United won, Fulham won, just came out of Craven Cottage and I'm not gonna lie man, very underwhelming. Very, very underwhelming. I have to start with probably the biggest elephant in the room right now, and that is for me the midfield. Bruno Fernandes. Casemiro getting booked so lazily early, but let's talk about Bruno Fernandes because I was in the stadium and I swear to you guys, I'm not even joking, I genuinely think the home fans got in the head of Bruno Fernandes. Every touch that he took, and this is before the penalty, but every touch that he took, every moment that he was on the ball, they were not letting him breathe. And that penalty, I don't know what happened. I saw the ref gave him a little nudge, I think, walked into him or something like that, and that might have thrown him off. But in my honest opinion, that is the worst penalty that I've probably seen Bruno Fernandes ever take. I'm not even joking. That is the worst penalty I've seen him take. And then the game went on, and I just think that he just phased out of the game. He just phased out of the game. And in that midfield battle, I feel like under Ruben Amorim's system, I can't watch this midfield. I can't watch whatever alteration of the midfield that Ruben Amorim has to offer. I can't watch it. I can't watch it. If it's Bruno and Ugarte, if it's Bruno and Cass, Mason Mount and Bruno, free Kobbie Mainoo. I don't know what's happening, but I actually put out a tweet. Follow me on Twitter if you don't. But I put out a tweet asking about Kobbie Mainoo and kind of where he stands right now for Manchester United. It's alright. It's alright. Don't worry about it. I kind of put out a tweet about Kobbie and where he stands under Ruben Amorim and in the Ruben Amorim system. And I think, unused sub 2 games in a row. He was warming up for half of the game. But even with saying that, for me, it's the fact that, the manager has... Press conference, I don't know if you lot saw the comments before the game, but he said something after the Arsenal game about, making it the right time. I'm in the worst place possible, guys. Let me move to this side. But yeah, he said after the game about the fact that, he brought on Ugarte for purpose. He had a reason for bringing on Ugarte, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. But I'm just wondering, wow, the sun is beating on my face. Let me go this way. There you go, that's better. I'm just worried about Kobbie Mainoo. Not just Kobbie Mainoo, but I'm worried about Man United's midfield as a whole, guys. I'm worried about it. I can't watch it for the rest of August, let alone for the rest of the season. And one thing that stood out for me today, let's talk about the positives. Because I feel like the first 15, 20 minutes, Man United were good. United should have been up at least by 2. Cunha should have had 2 goals at the least. Cunha should have had 2 goals, but they didn't. And that is for me the story of Manchester United, is the fact that, you can... So many times United will have a good spell, 15, 20 minutes, nothing to show for it. That penalty was a lifesaver for them. It was a lifesaver for Manchester United. And I think we just let Fulham get into the game. As the game progressed, as the game went on, Fulham just got into it. And for me, the biggest telling factors of the fact that this Amorim system is flawed is that midfield, because Fulham had so much space. Iwobi on the turn, Sanderberg, who was putting some passes misplaced. Fullbacks being able to run into space because, Casemiro's overcommitting, Bruno's overcommitting. When Casemiro came off, Mason Mount's overcommitting, and just one pass is taking everybody out of the game and giving Fulham acres of space to run into. And that was the story of it. And it wasn't just that, but I think as the season progresses, it's going to continue. I think that's going to continue, and we have to address that midfield issue. I mean, spending 200 million on 3 attackers and not playing them together until the second half in 2 games in a row. I'm not buying this idea that Sesko needs to be embedded into the team and he's only been at Manchester United for a couple. I'm not buying it. You play your best players, and I think you play your best attackers. Albeit, the fact that I'm saying that, and even though Man United I think started off well in the first 15, 20 minutes, and Mason Mount was a big part of that, so kudos to that. But as the game phased out, and as Cunha phased out of the game, as Mbeumo phased out of the game, as Mason Mount phased out of the game, there was nothing going for Manchester United. Absolutely nothing. And another thing that stood out to me, obviously United are set to reportedly sign Lemons. Bayinda from set pieces, United are lucky they didn't concede a goal today. I'm going to keep it a buck. United are lucky to not concede goals from set pieces today, because Bayinda, despite how good I think his passing was, that assist that he could have had for Cunha, I just think that him at set pieces is a spooky sight. It's really a spooky sight. But if I'm trying to think of it, because when you come out of the stadium, guys, you're running on emotion. Right now I'm running on emotion. If I was watching the game at home, I think it would have been a kind of completely different factor for me, the way that I'd be speaking right now, because I would have had some time to kind of, calm down and, be able to assess the whole game But right now I'm running on emotion, and emotion is telling me right now, number one, Sesko, Cunha and Bruno need to start together. That's the first point, number one. Number two, Man United need to go out and drop 80, 90 million, whatever the hell it is, on a midfielder, on a box-to-box midfielder, on an engine, on someone that's good on the ball, but equally can cover the space, can also help United in transition, both, even out of possession, guys. One thing that stood out to me, how deep Bruno and Casemiro were. They were so deep that they were practically in front of, the two wide centre-backs. And the gap that was left between, the midfield and the attack was ridiculous. And that happened all the time for United, in transition, but particularly out of possession. That was the biggest standpoint. That, last week, against Arsenal, we saw different signs out of possession. Today, I think it was a completely different story for what I saw from Manchester United. And Fulham fans were actually upset to not get the win. Because I'm not going to lie, after the penalty, even before the penalty was I think it was a lifesaver for Manchester United. But, after the first 15, 20 minutes when Man United were dominating the game and they had acres of chances and acres of space to run into, after that United didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing, man. I don't know, let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Probably I'll discuss this more, once the dust has settled, the emotions has settled, I get the chance to watch the game back properly. I'll probably put out another video discussing it. But let me know your thoughts down below, guys, because I guess 1 point on the board, we could start somewhere. But free Kobe, Sesko, I feel like I can't even judge him too tough on the last two cameos that he's had. Cunha, for me, the best signing that Man United have made in a long time. Probably my most favourite signing for Manchester United in a long time. But let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here.